Alrighty, I just got back from the gym. Sorry, I am a sweaty mess. I walked to the gym and walked back, and there is a spider on my wall that is probably going to distract me for a while. Joy. And my camera is going to die soon, so this got to be a quick video. This is just an intro full of caveats. Full of caveats. Hi, I'm RV Allister, author of Blue Lights, A Little Broken, Black Lights, and more things. Constantly writing, constantly doing things. Um, I'm doing 75 hard with my sister, who I love dearly, and part of that challenge is I am going to be answering 75 questions and posting 75 videos onto YouTube. So every day, I'll be here. I've been here for the past 6 days, so you can go check out those videos, and I'll be here for the next lot of days, so you can go check those out in the future. Um, Today, the question is, what am I trying to build here? As in, like, what am I trying to build when it comes to the types of stories that I write and tell? And in all honesty, I say it's not that deep, but it is that deep in a matter of I'm trying to create a cluster of stories where the main characters are minorities, majority black. I do write Hispanic characters as well because I grew up with a lot of Hispanic friends. Like I went to more quinceañeras and I went to sweet 16s. I can cumbia and bachata better than I could twerk. Like, um, but I want more black stories that exist without the conflict being blackness. And what I mean by that is like there are black stories that are out there. Ooh. But there are so many black stories, especially black stories targeted towards youth, where the problem is skin, where there is some type of discrimination that is the main conflict, where there is communal problems that is the main conflict, where, like, when I was in middle school and I was really getting into reading, I read all the Blue for High series. I read the Tears of a Tiger series. I read other black stories, but it all seemed like the same things where it was gun violence. Should I join this gang? Should I not join this gang? Um, Teen pregnancy. They were all the same, like the same type of conflicts. Tears of a Tiger actually was different. I was a fan of the Tears of the Tiger series that dealt with a lot of mental health issues. I really enjoyed the side story of the young girl who was dealing with an eating disorder and things of that nature. So that was telling some real stories. But like, that's not everyone's story. At no point in my life did I ever contemplate like if I had to join a gang, or not everyone is dealing with these kind of dramas. And I feel like we need more stories that are just stories, you know. For example, there was a I'm trying to talk fast because there's like 2% left on my camera. Um there was this movie on Netflix where it was like this black kid and this Puerto Rican kid. Uh, they had made a time machine, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like they're just these nerdy like high school kids, and they made a time machine, and I was just like so ready to like geek out with this story about these kids who made a time machine, and it was like these kids who just happened to be black made a time machine. Like, so much fun. It was not fun at all, because what they used the time machine for was after they built it, the main one of the main characters, her brother had been shot by a police officer, and she kept going back in time to try and correct that and to try to save her brother's life. Very meaningful, impactful story. Although I would have so loved the story about a black kid and a Puerto Rican kid who built a time machine and tried to go back in time to, I don't know, fix their first kiss that went awkward, or fix another situation at school, or just a normal story that does not have to do with racial discrimination. Because it took something that was like so cool that these kids accomplished, that these kids did, and morphed it into a societal problem that was beyond them, because they didn't even get the chance to fix it. They didn't fix the error, and it kind of took away their genius. Like, the reason that they built it was to win these scholarships, and we didn't even get to find out if they won a scholarship or not. Like, did this stop them from being the kind of person that they was, which is a problem that we have already, where the community. And my camera died, so the rest of the video is coming to you from my iPad. Hi. Um, as I was saying, there's already a serious issue in which the community kind of diminishes the success of people within the community because of all the things that happen within the black community. So, like, this story about these kids who built this time machine just ended up being another example of that, when I wanted it to be some success. Like, I wanted these kids to build a time machine, to go to the science fair, to get the scholarships, to have a fun story, and they didn't get that. And it felt so unfair, because if it was any other kid, like all the other kids with the time machine stories, they get to have fun little adventures. And what do the minority kids get? Relives trauma again and again and again and again. So I want stories that are just stories, that just happen to have black characters. Not black stories, but stories with black characters. And I want this to not ignore their race, because it does make a difference in the society, but for that to not be the main conflict, the main plot line. Like, I have stories in the works. All my main characters are probably going to be black. Like, I'm black. It's easiest for me to write from the black perspective. But all my main characters are probably going to be black. I have stories that take place and deal with, like, that take place in areas where race is a big conflict, that deal with, like, racial things. But that's not the baseline of every story that has black characters in it. Like, with Blue Lights, it's a matter of, these things are taking place in the background. These things are a factor in how we got into the situation, but these things aren't what causes the results of the story. I'm looking at my wall of, like, future stories, seeing which ones actually, like, play a big role with race, and it's really only two. Redfoot, which is about a girl who can see the memories of trees, that's going to take place in Greenville, South Carolina. And she will see a lot of her ancestors through the trees, especially through one particular tree that was a hanging tree in the town. And Frontliners, my my war story, that's gonna take place in the Civil War. But I think that's it for today. I'm been yapping. See you tomorrow with a fully charged camera.